Okay, Mike Masato, the CEO of Staff Driven Dental and a Dental Road Warrior, back on the road with you after a little hiatus, longer than I expected, to get episode 13, lucky 13, out to you guys. So my apologies for the delay on that. Been very busy, big move going on, lots of things happening, so I apologize. So I'll make this be an extra blockbuster-filled episode of good material. And I'm going to end with one of my scariest dental stories I've ever heard, crazy client stories. That I want to share with you today in honor of Halloween. I said I was hopefully going to get this episode out around Halloween so I could talk about some scarily hilarious stories. And I'm going to give you one of my all-time faves at the end of this episode. Stick around. Again, thanks for listening to these episodes or watching these episodes and sharing them. It's really taken off. If you enjoy this episode, please feel free to share it out there, spread the word. It'd be great to have other people see this and have it help me go out there and have it go viral in the dental community. Okay, what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about some practice analysis 101. All right, some basic fundamental stuff that's really simple. I try to make practice management be as simple as possible because dentists have heard that, or they've been trying to be convinced by others in this field that you have to be some kind of business genius to figure this stuff out. I get it. They don't teach it in dental school. They didn't teach it 20 years ago. They don't teach it today. So it makes it very difficult to succeed when you don't know what you're doing. All right? So this is where I want to make it easy to do because it doesn't have to be that complicated. So I want to give you a real basic thing today on some analysis on how to look at your practice to begin to make some improvements. All right? It's funny. I've got a call this morning before I get into this whole thing today. From a woman, wife of a doctor, and she was all upset, near in tears, regarding her husband who owns a couple of practices and having a hard time and struggling, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And he's a great doctor. People love him. He's got great practices, but he's just a bad business person, and he needs to get help, and he's got to be able to listen to somebody. Look, I get it. It's not just him. It's a lot of them. I told her it's most dentists we're not natural business people. This does not come natural to us. This is something we learned after the fact. I went to school to become a clinician and a healer, and I found that after the fact, oh crap, it's a business. I got to do all these things related to business, and I have no training and acumen in this. So I understand it's not an easy road to hoe sometimes. It's okay to get help. The fear is always like I'll look bad or I'll be looked at as a failure. If I don't get help, I don't get support. That's not true. Do you feel like you're a failure because they didn't teach you implants in dental school? Look, implants came along afterwards and you learned them. You went back to school. Just like anything else, as the clinical profession has improved over the years, you've gone back to school and gotten better to improve your craft. Same thing with this. You got to go back to school, learn this stuff, and when you do, things will get a lot better, a lot easier, and you'll be a lot more productive and profitable in your practice. So here's a way to start looking at your practice. I want to give you a real simple way to do an initial assessment. The questions to ask yourself is this: do I have the right people in the right places doing the right things? I'll say that again. Do I have the right people in the right places doing the right thing? Right people, personnel. Do I have the right personnel in this practice? Take a real hard assessment about this. Now, I don't want you to hear this as Mike is trying to tell me to clean house and get rid of everybody. That's not the case. In fact, I'm a big believer in not, coming on board and firing people. You want to make sure that you can get these people to step up to a higher level. Believe me, it's amazing what you can get out of staff when you basically train them and give them the time and attention they need to succeed on their jobs. The problem is we get into our practice and we get rolling with business and production and taking care of patients. We're on that constant treadmill that we don't spend a lot of time on them the way we should. And that's what happens. And so you need to really start looking at your team. Again, once in a while, changes got to be made. It's okay to move on from certain team members from time to time, if need be. So be it. And there's a way to do that effectively as well, too. But ultimately, I try to have people step up to a higher level of performance in the practice. When given the right tools, training, and resources, they can do that. All right. So do I have the right people in my practice? Am I missing people? Do I need people? Am I shorthanded? Am I overstaffed? Am I understaffed? That's another part of the whole thing. And assessing, looking at your personnel. So that's number one. Number two, are they in the right places? Are they in jobs that are best suited for them? There's a job description that fit their skill set. Like if you have a person who's very shy and non-confrontational about talking about money, you don't want to put her in charge of your money, okay? Because your money's going to walk out the door. So you got to make sure that. some people may not be at the front. They may be great at handling the phone and schmoozing with patients and everything, but they're not great at getting money out of them. All right, so you have to look at this. You have to look at each individual position and make sure is the personnel I have in this position rightly suited from her personality and her skill set. Does she have the ability to succeed in the position she's in, even with some training? All right, so look at that. Right people, right places in the practice. Doing the right things is a training. They have to have some kind of systems to run the practice by. You got to give them something to run by. Because if they're doing if you're not happy with some of the things they're doing, that has to do with they're just making it up as they go along because they're put there and they're doing the best they possibly can. But if they don't have training, they're going to be doing their own thing, and we don't want them doing their own thing. And some of their own thing might be good, and some of their own thing may not be that great, or not so good. So you want to make sure that there's a system for everything. I believe I talked about the different types of policies in a recent episode: operational policy, staff policy, and patient policy. You need them trained on these things. They need to know this stuff inside and out. So there should be a system for everything in your practice, and they should be utilizing these systems and not doing things arbitrarily throughout the course of a day of their own free will. That doesn't mean they can't think on their own and make their own decisions from time to time and think on their feet. I'm not saying that, but they need to have some kind of guidance in terms of what to run the practice by, what to utilize when they're in the practice to be successful and ultimately achieve your goals. Okay, so again, practice analysis 101 today. Look to see, do I have the right people in the right places doing the right things? All right, hope that was helpful. And look, there's a ton of points to that whole thing, and that's where someone like myself would come in and really help guide you through the process. But that's when we do it, we try to simplify it to make it easy and an easy assessment. All right. So now the fun, now the crazy, scary stuff for today. So I haven't done this on these episodes before, but you can only imagine. I'm doing this. This is my 21st year of doing dental consulting. The things that I've seen, the things that I've heard. And I've seen some crazy, scary, insane things in my time. Now, I'm not going to do this story justice from when I heard it, because it happened a long, long time ago. But I'll do my best. I'm going to give you the abbreviated version, but you can only use your imagination for the rest of it. Because when I heard about it, after a seminar. I was back in the day. I used to teach seminars twice a month. My clients used to join my program and be in a twice monthly seminar, so they had a lot of travel to do. Now times have changed, so I don't have my clients travel as much anymore. But they used to come from all over, New York, New Jersey area, and you can understand traffic in this area is crazy, and getting here is never easy. Even if you're close to where you got to go, it always takes a long time to get there. Well, I had this practice coming one time in to see me, and if you know anything about Long Island, New York, there's never you get nowhere fast coming from Long Island into Jersey. Like the people dread coming from Long Island to Jersey, think it's like they're coming into a different country, and vice versa. So my seminar is a morning seminar. It's about to start now. I had the deadly combination of a doctor's wife who was carpooling with a bunch of staff members, all piled into an SUV, coming over together to save time and make sure everybody got there. And the woman, the wife who was driving the crew in. Basically, was a nervous driver with all these people in the car. She was running late, didn't want to be late for the seminar. Traffic was nuts, and they're stuck on a bridge. All right, and she had a fear of bridges on top of that too. So now we're stuck on a bridge. We're late, freaking out, and she's in the car, and she hears from the back one of the staff members behind her said there, whispered in her ear, "Lisa has to make." She hears, meaning. One of the girls in the back, it was third row seating, so it was all the way in the back, needed to go to the bathroom. And she's like, "What do you mean she's got to make? We can't. We're on a bridge. What do you want to do? Stop? She can't pee off a bridge. We're in the middle of a bridge. What are we gonna do?" And then she says, "Okay, just tell her we can't stop." So the girl in the back seat turns back there, and I guess they had a little conference in the back, try to convince her to hold it till they got to the seminar location. And a couple minutes later, the girl behind her said, "Look, Lisa can't wait. She's really got to make." She's like, "What do you mean she's got to make? I can't. We're on a bridge. I can't stop. She can't get out. Here, give her this cup. Have her use this cup." And so she proceeds to hand a cup over the back seat to Lisa and have her. Just tell her to use the cup. Pee in the cup. So, okay. So it's quiet for a moment. They pass the cup back to Lisa in the back of the third row seating. And as they do this, and they're sitting in the car, a horrible odor starts to emanate inside the vehicle. and I can tell you it was not a pee odor. So yeah, Lisa had to make, Lisa made, and she used the cup in the third row seating of the vehicle while everybody was in it on the way into the seminar. So you can only imagine the state these people were in when they arrived at my seminar, and I asked them why so frazzled later on in the day. All right, now what would possess a person in their wildest dreams to make you number two in the back of a car in a cup with other staff members? How you ever live that down and face the rest of your staff, I'll never know. But it's got to be one of the most crazy, insane things I've ever seen in my life. And I wish I could have done the story better justice. But again, this is my life, and this is what I hear from time to time. So next time, remember, Lisa has to make. Be careful if you're ever traveling with a staff member, they tell you got to make. Be sure what they got to make first of all, or they might be in for a big surprise. All right. So I hope they didn't gross too many people out. But that's a true story. Can't make this stuff up. So this has been episode 13. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some laughs. Hope you got some good info. I'll be back with episode 14 on a quicker turnaround next time around. And I'll speak to you guys soon.